Hello, welcome. Happy early 4th of July weekend. We're excited to be here with you today. We just have to switch hang on one second. Welcome. We're excited to have you here. We're just getting our tech set up. Hang on just a moment. Alrighty. Welcome. Hopefully you're able to see our screen and not the SnapEd NY screen. Awesome. All right.
That's great.
Great. Well, welcome. Happy 4th of July weekend. My name is Erica Dell. I am the SnapEd nutrition educator here in the Hudson Valley in New York.
And my name is Maria Vele. I'm my own bilingual nutrition educator in Hudson Valley, New York as well.
Nice. So we are really excited to have you all here to celebrate early 4th of July weekend. So did you know that over 74 million Americans are planning to cook out this weekend?
We didn't know until this morning, and we were all surprised.
It's true. We did look it up. So we wanted to present to you today a really quick and easy recipe that you can take along with you when you go this weekend, so you have a healthy choice at your potluck or barbecue this weekend. Or this also works as a great side dish or a quick lunch to have at home, which is fantastic. So the recipe today is our Fiesta Rice Salad, and you can follow along with us. We're going to put the link in below so you can click. But what we want to really encourage is that if you have different vegetables or you have some different ingredients, this is a great recipe to swap in and out with. So as we go through, we will talk about each ingredient, why we picked it, and we'll put it together in less than 15 minutes here today. So are you ready to get started?
Of course. Let's start it.
All right. So the first ingredient that we are going to add today is brown rice. Do you want to chat a little bit about brown rice?
Of course. Brown rice is an example of a grain. As you know, my plate has 5 food groups, and one of them is grains. Now, what's special about this brown rice is it's considered a whole grain. Why is a whole grain? My plate recommend at least half of the grains should come from whole grain. Why? Because it's high in fiber. Now, fiber, a lot of people heard about why fiber is good, but I'm going to tell you why it is essential to have it every single day. It helps with your digestion. It helps to lower the bad cholesterol. It helps you maintain full. Therefore, it also helps you to promote a healthy weight. So this is just some of them, but just remember, when you are searching for a grain, make sure to read the first ingredient should say whole grain, right?
Exactly. And so when we're cooking with folks, oftentimes what we hear is that whole grains or brown rice take a little bit longer to cook. And that can be true sometimes, but it doesn't have to be true. So for brown rice, there's a lot of quick cook options. So that's the one that we picked today, just because, you know, we've been invited at the last minute to this cookout, right? We're trying to get out the door. The other reason that I love quick cook brown rice is because you don't necessarily even need a stove for it. This can be done in the microwave as well. So different brands do it different ways, but with this particular brand, there's a little bag. You could either put it in cold water, pop it on the stove and boil it for 15 minutes, or you could put it in 4 cups of water and pop it in the microwave for 10 minutes. So this is a really quick cook brown rice, easy way, inexpensive way to get in your whole grains today. So that's the first thing that we're going to add to our dish.
Exactly. So just remember, while you're cooking the 10 minutes, what you can do that with the 10 minutes is to start cutting up your other ingredients. In this case, look at this nice brown rice. This is our first ingredient that we're going to include in our bowl. And next, what I'm going to use is,
so we're going to dive into some of the vegetables that we chose today. And we're going to talk a little bit about why we chose what we chose. So on the My Plate, in order to have a balanced meal pattern, what you want to do is try to get half of your plate to be fruits and vegetables. So there's a lot of veggies in this recipe today, and we're going to talk through all of them and why we picked the ones we did. So the first one is tomato. So Maria's going to start cutting up our tomato into relatively small pieces. And the reason that we picked tomato is because they're really heart healthy. And the reason that we picked these tomatoes is because they were the least expensive today in the produce department. They were on sale. So a lot of these vegetables, including the tomatoes, are either in season or about to be in season very shortly here in New York State. So is anything better than a farmer's market tomato, right?
Exactly.
So make sure you check out your local farmer's market for some of these items as the season goes on. We're adding our tomato, beautiful, beautiful. It also adds a lovely red color to our recipe today. We really want to make it look like we have our lives together. It's lots of color in our recipe today. Our second ingredient is going to be our green bell pepper. And the reason that we picked green bell pepper, and certainly you could replace it with any kind of pepper that you wanted, and certainly any color pepper that you'd want to add to make it a little bit more colorful, or maybe you already have something on hand at home or already grew something in your garden. The reason we picked green bell pepper today, simply because it was on sale and we're trying to keep this recipe low cost today. So we just kind of dice up our green bell pepper. It's beautiful. It's going to add a little crispness to the salad. It smells amazing in here as Maria is cutting it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So this is another great way to be making sure that half of our plate is fruits and vegetables. So we did pick a lot of fresh vegetables today, but I also want to point out that you can use frozen or canned vegetables in this recipe as well. And we're going to talk a little bit more about canned veggies in a minute, but peppers are a vegetable that you can sometimes find already cut up for you in frozen bags. So check out your freezer section. They are as nutritious as fresh peppers. So it's a great way to add color, inexpensive, and for recipes like this, what's great about choosing a frozen option is you can just pick how much you need, right? So nothing is wasted. Our next option is going to be, or our next vegetable is going to be broccoli.
Broccoli.
So yes, do you want to talk a little bit about broccoli?
Of course. So pretty much the broccoli actually is now is in season, right? You can go to farmer's market, different stores, and oftentimes they have on sale, right?
Yeah, so broccoli is one of those things you can buy it in a lot of different stages, right? Usually with produce, it is less expensive if you're willing to do a little bit of the cutting yourself, right? So we got just one head of broccoli today. Maria's doing a great job of cutting it up into small pieces. It's going to add so much more fiber, color, flavor, and texture to our recipe today. So
And if you boil it, you just have it for just a few minutes. Don't overcook them. So here's my broccoli, looking good.
adding some beautiful
Exactly.
broccoli today. I love it. Our next vegetable is going to be a red onion. Now, if you joined us last time, you will know that I have looked high and low on the internet for suggestions for how to cut an onion without crying. So hopefully this goes well, guys. So Maria did not cut the ends, and she told me today that if you don't cut the ends, it will make it less likely that your eyes will tear up. Me personally, I like to wear swim goggles in the kitchen over the summer. You have them out anyway for 4th of July. Use them in the pool, use them in the kitchen. Your family might think you're crazy. It doesn't matter. Or you can use Maria's awesome method of not cutting the ends completely off. Ooh, that is a fresh onion. It smells so good in here, guys. So between all of the fresh herbs that we're going to put in and the onions, this is a really fragrant, beautiful, colorful recipe. And again, we just bought one onion. You could use a white onion or a scallion if you wanted to, whatever you happen to have on hand. You can also buy bagged, diced, frozen onion, if you can believe it, and save yourself the step of cutting if you wanted to do that altogether. So beautiful, beautiful. And our last fresh vegetable that we're going to add today is going to be a carrot. Now, carrots are great. They come in many forms in the grocery store. They actually come in a lot of different colors in the grocery store too. You can get purple carrots, yellow carrots. Today we went with a traditional orange carrot. We washed it ahead of time. Now we're just peeling the outsides off. We're putting them in our composting bowl up here, which is a great way of making sure that we are taking care of the environment while we're cooking.
And
So
it's so easy to make it.
It's so easy. So Maria's being fancy today. Maria has a grater and she's being super fancy. But if you don't feel like getting that fancy at home, you don't have to. You can dice these carrots up really small or to whatever size you want to and put them in. There's no rules. This is your recipe. We just felt like making the carrots a little bit thinner, so we add a little bit more color to our recipe. So we're going to, beautiful, oh my goodness.
Is that it? What's the other one?
It is so colorful. Great. All right. So our last, I guess it's our last vegetable, but what's great about beans, and we've selected dark kidney beans, but again, use whatever kind of canned bean or dry bean that you have on hand. If you are someone that has your life together and soaks the beans beforehand,
Exactly.
you can do this for even less money. But I like canned beans. So when I selected these at the grocery store, the reason that they're so nutritious for us and why we want to add them is because they're in the vegetable and the protein category on the My Plate. And we selected the low sodium version. And the reason that we selected the low sodium version is because it is heart healthy, right?
Exactly.
So
Are they expensive? Or they are inexpensive?
they're the same price as the regular beans, actually. That's a
That's
great,
good.
yeah.
Exactly. So don't think only because it's low sodium, it's gonna be more expensive. You just have to read the ingredients.
Exactly. So you read the ingredients, you can compare how much salt is in traditional and how much salt is in the low sodium versions. And we're going to cut this down even more by draining it, right? So I am going to rinse these beans, which is actually pretty simple to do. I love these like tear off cans, so I don't have to mess with a can opener. Okay, so I am just going to put the beans in a colander and I am going to rinse them off in the colander. Beautiful. So even though there are low sodium beans, you can take the salt down even more by rinsing them. And that's true in any recipe. So don't be shy. Don't be afraid of canned vegetables. Just be sure that you're rinsing them and you're selecting that low sodium variety.
Look at this, beautiful. They're very high in fiber as well.
Very high in fiber,
Wow,
very
look at
high in
this.
protein, helps with that digestion, helps manage blood sugar. And again, that can all contribute to maintaining a weight that's healthy for your body.
Exactly.
So love it. Okay, I think that's all of our vegetable items.
Exactly.
Now the dressing.
The dressing is very important. We try to limit creamy dressing. They normally are high in sodium, added sugar. However, you can make your own homemade. This is actually a perfect way to make your own homemade dressing. In this case, the recipe calls for red wine vinegar. Inexpensive, right? Okay. So.
Alrighty, here we go. So I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons of the red wine vinegar.
Exactly, and so I'm gonna give you. Sarah, you're gonna help me with this.
All right, 2 tablespoons of the red wine vinegar. And are we doing 2 tablespoons of the oil as well? 1 tablespoon of the oil.
Mhm.
So any oil that is liquid at room temperature is going to be healthier for our heart, right? So we are going to add 1 tablespoon of oil, liquid oil, and then we are going to cut our cilantro down.
Actually, remember, the more herbs that you use, the less sodium you're gonna need. Every time you actually add some fresh herbs, it could be fresh, it could be dry. It will provide more color and aroma, and you tend to use less sodium. So why is it important to low sodium? Because we do want to maintain a healthy blood pressure. And there are other benefits as well.
I
And
agree.
then also, let's add some black pepper.
A bit of black pepper to taste. You can do it however much or however little that you like. And what I'm gonna do
Is you can just add it to it.
this back over here. So, okay, so yeah. All right, so I'm just gonna add this Beautiful. Alrighty, so I'm gonna give it a little stir. And get that rice all
Look at
mixed in.
that. It's so colorful.
Colorful.
So now
Nice.
this recipe is a great example that this recipe actually, it has three food groups. So we got the rice, the whole grain rice from the grain group. We have all the vegetables from the vegetable group, and we also have red beans from the protein. Wow, isn't it
Yeah.
amazing?
It's beautiful. Can we try it, Maria? Let me get us some samples
Of
here.
course.
Get us samples.
Wow, looks great. So now, if you're having a family gathering this weekend, you can use this recipe. If in case you wanted to substitute any other grain, remember you can make with whole grain pasta, with quinoa, or any other grain.
All right, let's give it a shot, Maria. What do you think?
Mmm,
Oh my gosh.
delicious.
And it
Wow.
smells amazing in here. It smells incredible in here. I feel like this looks really fancy, but it was very inexpensive. Took less than 15 minutes to make today, and it's a great dish. So if you're interested in this recipe or other recipes to bring for your summer barbecue or to make at home, check out snapedny.org. So that's snapedny.org, and we're going to put it below so that you can save time, save money, and eat healthy all summer long. So if there are any questions in the chat box, we can answer those. Otherwise, have a great day. Happy
Thank
4th
you
of
so
July
much.
weekend. Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
joining
much.
us today.
Bye-bye.
That was great. It smells amazing in here. Seriously.
It does, it does, it does.
All right. Beautiful, beautiful. So we're getting all cleaned up.
Thank you.
Smells amazing in here.